Tonight, Showcase Canada.
Tonight, confrontations at WPC.
Tonight, Lakers with a stranglehold.
Tonight, two-step and toe-tap and fun.
Good evening. The deal-making and business meetings at the World Petroleum Congress took a back seat to fun tonight.
That's right, Tom. On the last night of the WPC, delegates met Canada and saw just how diverse our country is from coast to coast. From the familiar to the not-so-familiar.
You have an incredible country.
Canada Night at Spruce Meadows boasted heritage, patriotism, and pride.
I would ask upon Sydney to please grant us permission to carry on with the musical ride of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Here, they're getting to know Canada.
See, it's not all about business here at the World Petroleum Congress. Here at Spruce Meadows, delegates are finding out exactly what makes up Canada. Not only what, but who.
You saw all the provincial pavilions, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, Alberta, etc., British Columbia. The goal tonight was to give our provinces a tour of Canada.
I've noticed that you have people coming from different parts of the world. You're very, very warm.
I hope to come back for a long time, maybe for 2 weeks to spend here with my family.
And that wasn't all. Performers Susan Aglu-Clark, Tom Jackson, and the Youth Singers of Calgary also treated the delegates. The World Petroleum Congress wraps up tomorrow afternoon with a handover ceremony at the Jack Singer Concert Hall. Tom?
Well, there's a high-profile arrest at the World Petroleum Congress today. Also an angry march through the streets and possible charges after a confrontation involving a protester.
Now! Free soccer now!
An impromptu march through the streets of the city.
Now! Free soccer now!
Protesters demanding police release one of their own. They get their wish. Former Edmonton City Councillor Tucker Gomberg released on his own recognizance, charged with a breach at the World Petroleum Congress for allegedly protesting at the offices of Suncor Energy.
I mean, I don't understand the court system well enough, but I really don't understand how it can be a criminal, how it can be an offense to speak the truth.
It's just one of several WPC-related developments today. Here's another one.
I asked him to stop doing that, and his response was to spray me in the crotch area. And I said, well, does this bring you joy to do this? And his response was to knee me in the groin.
Keen's planning to press charges. He says when he was putting up protest stickers, he was attacked by downtown maintenance worker Scott Tiny Anderson.
You don't strike anybody. I mean, you know, we're human beings. There's no need to strike somebody.
One of our officers was at the scene of that alleged assault yesterday morning, moments after it happened, and took the names of a number of witnesses. Most people, though, happen to be from out of town.
That means the police investigation into the kneeing incident is going to take at least a few more days. Meantime, police have other policing issues to be concerned about, like WPC, like the rest of the city, and so far, as we've seen, that appears to be going just fine. Around the Congress, there's the constant presence of crowd control.
It'll take a week or two to get caught up, I'm sure, but this has to be done.
There's the familiar sound in the air as Hawk 1 maintains its airborne vigil.
We're having a good time.
Police laughing off the occasional taunting by protesters.
We don't get no justice. You don't get no donuts. No justice, no donuts.
and working a lot of overtime.
So far, scheduled overtime hours we're going to have put in this whole week will be 34, so quite a few hours.
And the cost of all that overtime and extra policing still isn't known, but police brass are defending their response to this so far peaceful Congress. Viv?
Tom, oil and gas are big business, but where do human rights and environmental issues fit in? 8 Channel's Francis Silvaggio takes a look at how the WPC is tackling social responsibility.
They're the catchphrases of the WPC protesters. Save the environment. Stop human rights violations. These people say their message is falling on deaf ears. These people say it's not.
This is something that we have to take very, very seriously, and there is no way and nowhere that we could hide from our actions.
Those companies that keep on only talking in a positive sense and not reacting and not being shown to do what they promise to do, in the end will lose out.
And believe it or not, some people actually believe protests like this are an integral part of ensuring that big oil companies actually do change.
You can see the signs on the wall. You know, I mentioned Seattle, I mentioned a number of other events, you know, which are there. So if companies do not listen to those signals, they will be out.
Jacqueline Eloisi de Lauderelle is with the United Nations Environment Program, and while she believes much has been accomplished, she says the oil and gas industry still has a long way to come.
Certainly, I think that it is important that an international code, you know, should be established.
Until then, these protesters say they'll continue to be the oil and gas industry's social conscience.
200 people on the street represents possibly 2,000 or 200,000 people who aren't willing to go that far but still have that same view and will vote with their dollar or will vote at the ballot box.
It was only recently the World Petroleum Congress invited the United Nations to participate. And while one official would make no guarantees, he said there is a possibility some special interest groups may be invited in the future. At the WPC, Francis Silvaggio, 8 Channel News Now.
Thank you, Francis. And the Alberta Wilderness Association is asking the petroleum industry to put our environment high on its list of priorities.
Being under such threat for 20
The group says oil and gas activity is carving up Alberta's natural areas. They wrote to the provincial government and 10 petroleum businesses asking them to slow down.
Oil and gas is not sustainable. We're going to be out of conventional oil in 7 years and natural gas a bit further down the road. You should not be liquidating your future options for a non-renewable resource.
Tonight, a representative of the oil biz says they're looking at how to invest in our environmental future, but the Wildlife Association fears the protection pace is too slow compared to the 15,000 to 20,000 wells drilled in the province every year.
An Edmonton man is recovering after a dramatic aerial rescue tonight. A contractor was working on a roof when he fell. 8 Channel's Kirk Hoyser witnessed the life-saving recovery.
Hardest part is first getting the patient over the edge. That initial couple-foot drop, it's almost impossible to stop just once you get over the edge because you've had to allow extra rope to get him up and to the edge, and then once you get him over, there's a few feet of extra rope. So that's that quick heart stop in second when you come over. So my heart even jumped for a second.
Here's what happened. The man was working on the roof of the bay. That's the taller brown section that you see up there. He was finished his work and tried to come down on a ladder to the lower section. He fell. Once firefighters got to him, they realized that they were going to have a difficult time getting him off the roof.
He was complaining of some neck pain, shoulder pain, because I guess he landed on his side. He could have fallen, we figured, anywhere from 20 feet or so. Because of the maze of walking up there, to get him on a spine board and secure him, we couldn't have carried him through the boiler rooms and all the back alleyways they have back in the store. So this was the quickest and safest way of bringing him down.
Schimpf spoke with the victim all the way down, something that's key in this type of rescue.
When you throw him over the edge, he doesn't know what's happening, and some people actually they start breaking loose of the baskets.
He was just asking my name, how I felt, telling me how
how far we've gone, how much more we have left. There's TV reporter cameras down there. That's about it.
What did it mean for you to have them there with you?
It's comforting.
In Edmonton, Kirk Hoyser, 8 Channel News Now.
Close at home, a 15-year-old Calgary teen is in hospital this hour after an accident in our city's southeast.
She was jaywalking across the northbound lanes of traffic. She made it safely across 3 lanes of traffic. Unfortunately, cars heading southbound didn't see her properly. She got into the second lane and got hit by a blue automobile that threw her a short distance.
The girl suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. No charges have been laid. Police still investigating tonight.
To the courts now, it's a plea for tough justice from one victim's family tonight. As 8 Channel's Richard Wood tells us, Arden Thompson is waiting to hear his sentence.
Arden Thompson's manslaughter conviction is the latest in a life peppered with criminal offenses. Thompson says it was self-defense when he stabbed Doug Allen to death last year. Allen broke into Thompson's room at a local boarding house. There was a fight, and Allen was stabbed 13 times. A jury called it manslaughter. The Crown called it a crime deserving a hefty prison sentence. Thompson told the court, "That evening was the worst snapshot of my life. Regret would not be a strong enough word. If I could change the events of March 18th, I would."
The defense says Thompson deserves leniency, but the family told a compelling story of their loss, how their lives changed forever because of the killing.
Doug's mother was first. Not a day has gone by that we don't wish that we had that last hug and kiss. No one has the right to take the life of another. While his sister, crying on the stand, said, "I love my brother with all my heart and will have a hard time filling the void left by his death."
Justice David Wilkins has reserved a decision. He will take some time to review this case first. Meanwhile, Arden Thompson will learn his fate on June 23rd when he is sentenced. From Court of Queen's Bench, Richard Wood, 8 Channel News Now.
Calgary police say they have a handle on crime in our city. New numbers were released today, and they look good. Overall, police say property crimes are decreasing by 20%. Fraud saw a 36% drop. Car theft, 32%. And break-and-enters fell 33%. Police attribute the improvements to their tactics.
Well, the police service has made it quite a priority in terms of property crime, house breakings especially. We've done a great deal of work in that area, trying to concentrate on bringing that rate down.
There is a slight increase in drug arrests and crimes against people. Police say that's because of our city's rapid growth.
A Calgary man is taking on the swim of a lifetime. Bill Borger is off to the UK tonight on his quest to cross the English Channel. He's trying to raise awareness and funds for the Canadian Mental Health Association. He'll be continuing his training for the September 4th swim by climatizing to the ocean as well as stroking through huge waves.
I think about touching the soil on the other side. I think about raising money for an excellent cause in Canadian Mental Health Association here in Calgary and erasing the stigma that exists towards those with mental illnesses and just having a good time over the next couple months.
Bill is financing the trip all on his own. He's already raised $26,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association. Call the CMHA at 297-1700 or drop by any branch of the Royal Bank, or you can visit this website to make an online donation to help him out.
Time for a look at the weather picture now. Meteorologist Dar Maboul standing by live on 7th Avenue with a quick look at the forecast. Hi, Dar.
Hello, Tom. We have a couple of unsettled days and also very cool days, especially tomorrow, but the weekend looks fairly promising as far as sunshine is concerned, and also seasonal and warm temperatures. I'll have all those weather details for you later on in the news. First inside with the athletic department and Joe Sports.
Dar, Game 4 of the NBA Finals, a big day for the Flames, an even bigger day for the Devils, and we zero in on the staff QBs at training camp. All later in sports. Now to Brad, what's shaking entertainment tonight? Brad?
Well, Joe, we'll tell you what, we're going to get you up close and personal with a country band that's rocking the Ranchmen tonight by the name of Appaloosa. Also, May Moore, a great Canadian talent, is in Calgary tonight, and it could be bad news for Brett the Hitman Hart. We'll have all that later live from the Ranchmen. Now back to the newsroom and to Tom and Vivian.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Time to take a break here on 8 Channel News tonight, but stay tuned. We have the details on a new way to help beat arthritis.
But up next, residents in our South End are complaining of stinky water. We'll tell you what the problem is when we come back.
What's your opinion on today's top stories? Got a point you'd like to make or praise to pass along? It's time to speak out and be heard on the air. Call, fax, or email us and let us know what you think. Anytime, anywhere, any issue. Calgary Interactive is about you. Call us now at 508-3348. Fax us at 508-3300. Or email us through calgaryinteractive at a-channel.com. More Calgary, more often. We're ready to get you involved. Get interested. Get interactive right now.
Welcome back. If you've noticed a strange smell and taste to your drinking water, the city says there's no need to worry. As 8 Channel's Liza Fromer tells us a harmless algae is growing in the Glenmore Reservoir.
Good afternoon, Waterworks. We started to receive an increase in customer complaints about the taste and odor of the drinking water on the weekend. There's actually 2 complaints we're getting. One is a fishy, musty smell that is definitely an indicator of algae or some other biological growth. And the other complaint was metallic taste.
We discovered early this week that there's a bloom of an algae called Uroglena americana. It's a harmless algae, but yet it's very odor-producing. Most of the effect is in the south part of the city because that receives water from the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant. If you're in the far north, you're not going to be affected at all. If you're in the middle, there's a blend of the 2 waters, Bear Spa and the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant, so you'll get some effect in the middle.
As soon as the complaints came in, tests were done on the reservoir's water, and while it may not taste great, the experts say it's perfectly safe to drink.
They came in late Friday evening. They worked all through the evening, and then we got a number of complaints on Saturday, so we tested all those samples, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with the water from a health standpoint.
Well, if you notice the taste is metallic, and it's probably because you're sensing a little bit more chlorine in the water than normal, and chlorine will dissipate if you leave it in an open jug in your fridge.
It's an annoyance, that's for sure, but there's nothing wrong with the water from a health standpoint.
If you have any problems or questions about your water, you can call the City Water Complaints Line at 268-2949. From the Glenmore Reservoir, Liza Fromer, A-Channel News Now.
City officials are also investigating a popular pesticide that's used to control mosquitoes. As A-Channel's Tara McCool tells us, they want Dursban banned.
Who's listening to the people, and where can they call when they can't go outside because they're made ill by these things, these products being used?
Well, it seems City Council is listening. Today it passed a motion to stop using the pesticide Dursban for mosquito control. It'll use a natural bacteria called Vectorbac instead.
Agreed. Agreed. Opposed? I'm opposed as well.
I guess there's a bit of surprise, and pleasantly surprised. It seems like they are recognizing this issue and the fact that Dursban is not a safe chemical to use, and they've addressed it.
I'm very pleased, actually. I mean, this is an issue that I've wanted the city's program, mosquito program, to move towards, more biological products. This really gives us, I think, a better tool in the long term to manage mosquitoes in a very environmentally sound area.
This is a move of about $150,000 to address the mosquito abatement program because of the concerns that Dursban has certain health risks.
But with this new method, Calgary Parks and Rec needs to make sure it'll still be able to treat the mosquitoes in time.
We have to determine if we can get more Vectorbac. I mean, Council has provided us additional funds to buy this biological product. The issue now is whether or not there's anything commercially available in the system.
This decision could prove to set an excellent example for Calgarians, since we use 4 times the amount of pesticides that Calgary Parks and Rec uses. But the City of Calgary is hoping to change that through an education program.
We are partnering with Alberta Environment, and we've already had some also initial discussions with the Calgary Hort Society to look at ways to educate the public on trying to reduce their reliance on pesticides.
They need to take the position that to educate the public by showing them that they don't want to use and will not use these toxic chemicals.
City Council will be taking a final vote on whether or not to ban the pesticide Dursban on Monday when it gets more information. At City Hall in Calgary, Tara McCool, A-Channel News Now.
Thank you, Tara. And some good news tonight for those suffering from arthritis. More than 100,000 Calgarians struggle with the disease, but today the U of C in Rockview announced a new innovative program to help.
Let me have a look at your elbow.
Patients with arthritis will be trained to use their own bodies as teaching tools. They'll help doctors and medical students to better diagnose the disease.
Down on the joint and feel underneath
The patients in the patient partner program will receive 100 hours of special training, learning the anatomy of the joints and understanding how to teach the medical students to properly examine without causing pain, and also to get the most information they can from the examination.
14 patient volunteers will be ready to teach by the fall. Approximately 4 million Canadians suffer from arthritis.
Residents of one Alberta town have a dream to shatter a world record. The town of Josephburg put on its annual fried chicken dinner tonight to try and get the most people ever at one sitting. 8 Channel's cameras were there for the finger licking.
Some of the recipes that we're using are from the original cookbooks. They've been passed on and on. The cookbooks are no longer in existence, but a lot of the stuff come over from Sweden and Germany, and we've carried this on to this day, and today we're trying to get into the Guinness World Book of Records for a setting. We're expecting around 2,000. Last year we were just under 2,000, and I think the record is around 1,300 people, so like we'll certainly surpass it, and it's been going on for, like I said, well over 100 years.
I think we'll probably make it. I'm serious. This place is packed.
Thanks, Rob, for coming out. Good to see you. Yes.
It's a great meal, but it's just basically to see everybody in the community out for chicken.
It's getting a little bigger every year, more people, and more chicken. We've got a really good group of people around here, lots of volunteers. A lot of people, when you say Josephburg, don't even know where it is, but it's right out here, and it's great. It's a vibrant community.
Well, 2,174 people enjoyed the chicken dinner. A video of the event will be submitted to the Guinness Book of World Records.
2,174
people.
Not bad.
That's a lot of chicken.
It is.
Time for a break here on News at Night. Stay with us, though. A British soldier has died on a military base near Edmonton. We'll tell you what happened.
And coming up, wildfires still burning out of control in Colorado tonight. Crews from across the U.S. on their way to help, and the details when News at Night returns.
And welcome back to 8 Channel News at Night. The Supreme Court of Canada heard arguments today in the emotionally charged case of Tracy Latimer. Saskatchewan farmer Robert Latimer murdered his daughter 7 years ago. He wants his parole eligibility reduced from the current 10 years.
This isn't a lynch mob. This isn't rather a collective will that some compassion towards Bob Latimer on sentence would be appropriate.
This is a case of a father murdering his child because he was having trouble coping.
Tracy Latimer was a human being. She had a life to live, and it was a life to make of what she could.
Latimer says he killed his daughter to relieve her suffering from cerebral palsy. Arguments have wrapped up, and now Latimer will have to wait up to a year to learn the decision. An accident on an Alberta military base has claimed the life of a British soldier. Corporal Leslie Douglas was killed during a live fire exercise at CFB Wainwright. It's believed Douglas was struck in the head by a bullet and died instantly. The question now, whether tight safety rules were breached. An autopsy will be performed tomorrow in Edmonton. And more changes at TELUS in Edmonton tonight. It's relocating at least 30 jobs to Calgary.
I think sometimes it's natural for employees to react in an emotional way to organizational changes, but I think a lot of employees, and especially with the announcement of our new CEO and someone to take us forward, are really excited about our national prospects and growth opportunities in all areas of the company.
This is the 4th time in the past 6 months TELUS has shifted jobs out of Edmonton. The company is offering several options, including relocation packages and new positions in different departments in Edmonton. And your summer travel plans could be up in the air tonight. Air Canada pilots will hold a strike vote, which could lead to a walkout as early as June 30th. 2,200 pilots have been without a contract since April 1st. Talks broke off June 5th. The major issues of contention, salaries and working conditions.
Firefighters from across the U.S. are joining crews in Colorado tonight, hoping to stomp out 2 raging wildfires. The story tops our look around the world now. 1,200 firefighters now attacking the blazes in the Rocky Mountain foothills. So far, the fires have engulfed more than 19,000 acres of wilderness. 800 residents have been forced to flee their homes. Colorado's governor has declared a state of emergency tonight. Nearly 30 women have come forward now after they were viciously attacked in Central Park over the weekend. Amateur video shows the women being sprayed with water, grabbed and groped by a group of young men. New York City police under fire for not stopping this. The mayor has promised to devote all available resources to get to the bottom of the attacks. Part of a terminal at New Jersey's Newark Airport is in rubble tonight. Early this morning, an aircraft mysteriously lurched into the building. The plane's nose plowed straight through the structure. Maintenance workers were checking out the plane when it started to roll. Both the terminal and the aircraft were empty at the time. Time for us to take a break here on 8 Channel News at night. We're updating your top stories 2 minutes from right now. Dar McBool with the details in this dreary forecast. Joe's got your NBA action in sports. We're live at the Ranchmans with Wired when News at Night continues.
And welcome back to 8 Channel News at Night. It's now 11:17 and time to check tonight's top stories. Delegates from the World Petroleum Congress got a taste of Canada at Spruce Meadows tonight. Congress goers got a chance to sample Canadian cuisine and watch the world-famous RCMP musical ride. An angry march through the streets today after a high-profile arrest at the WPC. Protester and former Edmonton City Councillor Toker Gomberg was charged with breach of an undertaking after protesting at the offices of Suncor Energy this week. And residents in the south end of our city are complaining about fishy-smelling water. City officials say the problem stems from an overgrowth of algae in the Glenmore Reservoir. They claim your H2O is still safe to drink, and they're monitoring the situation.
Well, the clouds seem to have stuck around, but how about tomorrow? Meteorologist Dar McBool standing by live on 7th Avenue with the forecast. Hi there, Dar.
Well, hello there, Tom. Tomorrow we still have unsettled condition in our area, and we are going to have fair bit of cloud cover, but more importantly, northwesterly winds, and they will be strong, and also cool temperatures. Now, before we go there, let's take a look at what we have. But the weekend does look promising, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. We have 9 degrees outside, wind out of the northwest, 22 kilometers an hour, relative humidity 87%, and pressure 101.1 kilopascals. Our daytime high, it was a fairly decent 17, still about 3 to 4 degrees below our normal values. Sunrise tomorrow is going to be at 5:20, set at 9:53. Quick look at the satellite image shows a fair bit of cloud cover in south central Alberta, also over the Mount Parks areas. And if you take a look at the radar imagery, that will appear just shortly after that. Now we have the clouds coming in a little bit more from the northwest direction than from the west direction, as has been the case during the last couple of days. So that northwesterly wind will start to surface. In fact, already has started to, but it will become more gusty as we get into the morning hours and during the day tomorrow. On the radar imagery, we see some shower activity that is taking place in south central Alberta over Brooks area. We see those darker blue colors. They have had some thunder shower activity. We had a couple of rumblers go through our area, primarily garden variety. There was very small shot-size hail in that, and even then it was a little mushy. But this kind of shower activity will carry on this evening and also tonight. Now, overnight lows in south central Alberta, with the winds coming in from the northwest and fairly strong in the morning, they will stir things up and keep our temperatures under the cloud curve fairly decent. 5 degrees, that's a couple of degrees below normal. Similar temperatures elsewhere in south central Alberta and the Mount Parks. Tomorrow's daytime highs for us, while it is going to be a cool 13 degrees and same air mass, similar temperatures in most of south central Alberta, 11 in the Mount Parks areas. 8 channels wherever the forecast has us with those scattered shower activity, or that shower activity tonight and tomorrow as well. 13 degrees, winds northwesterly developing overnight. I would say 30 to 35 kilometers an hour, gusting upwards of 40, and then tomorrow during the day gusting upwards of 50. Friday, generally cloudy day, the odd light shower, some sunny breaks, 15 degrees, northwesterly winds lighten up. Saturday, we have mainly sunny conditions. Those southwesterly winds kick in, 21 degrees with just a few clouds moving through the area. Sunday, Monday, varying amounts of high clouds in the area. 19 on Sunday and 18 degrees on Monday. So all in all, a fair bit of sunshine comes through after these next couple of days. I'll have the wake-up weather for you in detail later on in the news. Now inside to the newsroom, and to you, we have Vivian and Tom.
Thank you, Dar, and it's time to take another break here, but don't go far. Brad Kelly is standing by live at the Ranchmans.
And next, the Pacers and the Lakers head-to-head in the NBA. Joe's got your sports. It's coming right up.
welcome back to 8 Channel News at Night. It's time to check in with Joe Sports now. He's standing by live in the athletic department. And Joe, the Lakers are hoping to outrun those Pacers.
Yeah, Vivian, I tell you, a chance tonight, though, for the Pacers to even things up, and, of course, an opportunity for the Lakers to take a stranglehold on the series with a victory. They would be up 3-1. Kobe Bryant made his return after missing Game 3 with a sprained ankle. Got to get me a hat like that. Sam Perkins fires at the Crozier baseline jam. Third quarter, and Kobe shows everyone the ankle feels fine as he drives the paint, and bam, with the slam there. Then it's Miller time. First, he hits from Trey Country off the rebound there, and then Miller, after nailing this shot, he will work it down low, beats his man in a bucket, and then hits the reverse. Then, from the corner, Miller hits the three. Reggie with 35 points on the night. Down the stretch, former Laker Sam Perkins hits the three-pointer. That ties the game. To overtime we go, and Shaw drives the lane, puts up the hook, no good, but Bryant there with the board and the reverse banker. Lakers take the lead. 5.9 seconds to go, last chance for Indiana. Miller for the win, no good. Lakers grab a 3-1 lead with the 2-point victory. Well, after a relative slow day for ticket sales yesterday, the Flames enjoyed another 200-plus day today, 259 sold to be exact, thanks in part to Sport Check, who came on board to help move the total to 12,292. Now, the sporting goods store purchasing 200 ducats today. Meantime, some people actually showed up in Jersey today to honor their Stanley Cup champion Devils. A big moment for the boys as they got to ring the closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Ray Bourque has passed up a shot at free agency, signing with the Colorado Avalanche for another year. The All-Star defenseman was traded to the Avs last year from Boston after playing with the Bruins since 1979. Well, football now, and defensive lineman Jeff Traversy, the Stamps, will miss up to 2 weeks with a bad right knee. And no question about it, though, the most important position in football's got to be the quarterback spot. As Rob Gibson tells us, O.T. Sampson and Troy Kopp are battling for number 2 behind Dave Dickinson.
3 men drop back, but when July rolls around, only 1 will line up behind center, and 1 may not be with the team. After 5 years of waiting, Dave Dickinson has earned the number 1 spot, so for him, camp is a chance to start team building and work out the off-season wrinkles.
I think if we want to be a good team, we need to get off to a good start, and that means working, getting better unity as a team, and also working with the O-line and getting all our calls down. And our number 1 unit's a veteran unit, and hopefully we come out and have a good first few games. But we've definitely thrown in some new plays, some new running plays, also a few pass routes. So we're trying to take advantage of what we got, and you know, we got some size up front, so hopefully we can get on some people and run the ball.
Go, Brown 40!
The 2 men battling for the backup spot are Troy Kopp and O.T. Sampson. Kopp has been in the league for a couple of years now, but hasn't had the chance to play much. But when he does, he likes to throw the ball.
I'm not the fastest guy. I think I kind of have a good feel of when to move, but yeah, my arm is probably my strength, and you know, I feel like I can move the ball down the field with my arm.
Head coach Wally Buono is keeping a watchful eye on his quarterbacks, and in spite of the fact that O.T. has been with the team for a year, he could be on the outs in a month.
The thing about Troy that we like, that he's really been conscientious, he's worked hard, and you can see that he's been around professional football. You know, O.T., same thing. I mean, he's been around, but now the expectation with him is a little bit more, and, you know, he's starting to understand that.
Rob Gibson, 8 Channel Sports.
All right, just a reminder, a week today is the first exhibition game against the Go Raiders. Yeah, skip your work special today, though, meantime. Burns Stadium, the other place for the Cannons in Omaha. And while it was closer than last night, it was still a loss for the Guns. Golden Spikes edge Calgary 8-7. Well, to the majors now, Expos and Brewers, 7-2 Milwaukee in the 5th. Marquise Grissom launches one against his former mates. That is gone. Now, Brad Kelly celebrates with a ride down the old slide. Brewers all over this post tonight, 11-2 the final there. Jays and Tigers, second inning. A man off for Brad Fulmer. Stay by. 9th dinger of the year. 3rd tater against Detroit this season. 2-zip T.O. Well, 2 batters later, Jose Cruz Jr. smokes one to right. No doubt about that one. No doubt about the result tonight. 8-1 Jays. Bit of a change from last night's 16-3 setback. Well, it's an event that's been going on for 7 decades, the running of the Alberta Derby. Deb Mediachka takes a look at some of this year's favorites. Horses. All right, I guess we're not going to go to the horses. We'll talk about the Calgary Hitmen, though. They have themselves a new head scout. Brad Whelan replaces Paul Charles, who bolted for the NHL's Minnesota Wild. Now, Whelan was previously a regional scout with the hockey club. Also, some good news for 3 Hitmen. Players have been invited to attend Canada's national junior team's evaluation camp. Chris Beach, Jordan Kristanovich, and Brent Cron, the goaltender. Now, the World Championships go in Russia this December. And I guess that's a look at sports. Vivian.
Okay. Actually, that's really good news that Sport Check came forward for the Flames today.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yesterday, only 50 tickets sold. Today, 259. They have to average 107 for the next 16 days to make the goal of 14,000, which is not bad. I mean, some days it looks great. But tomorrow, again, another sponsor coming on board. Looks like Co-op is going to get involved. So if we continue to get the corporate involvement day after day, then the ticket sales will continue to go up. And so 14,000, we make it by June 30th. Then the team stays. So here's hoping that happens. Yes.
Okay. Did you know you're tall?
Yeah.
I didn't know that
better?
Yeah. Thanks very much, Joe. Time for a pause here on News at Night. Don't go away, though. There's some two-stepping in town. We go live to the Ranchmen for the country sounds of Appaloosa. Brad Kelly's next with Wired. Stick around.
Country crooning going on down at Ranchman's. Our Brad Kelly's not doing it, but he is there live. Brad?
Yeah, hi, Tom. You know what? You needed a break from all that Petroleum Congress action. This is the place to be. That's next. This is Wired. Welcome to Wired. We're live from the Ranchmans to check out. Oh, man, they are whipping it up on the dance floor to the sounds of Vancouver band Appaloosa. The country sounds are on the stage right now. Take a look. But I had a chance to meet with the lead singer. His name is Jack Stoltz. He is originally from Kelowna, came to Calgary, now he's in Vancouver. We had a chat about what they bring to country music and their latest CD.
Well, I started the band in about, it was the latter part of '91, and it's just been working full time. You know, we've had maybe 1 week off a year, 2 weeks off a year, and solid full-time. We do some concerts and some mostly clubs though, which is hard, but it's good pay and it keeps me busy. We're a country band. We've been a country band for 9 years, and we've over the years had to change a bit because it's not so much just country anymore. It's a crossover. Like we do Alan Jackson to ZZ Top and pretty much everything changed. Like pretty much everything except jazz.
Well, Vancouver's Appaloosa have been together for about 9 years, and they've been touring the sounds of their latest CD. Now, when they do a venue like this, a lot of fans come up to them and say, hey, when are you going to come up with some new stuff? Well, they're working on a CD right now, which they hope will be released around December this year.
The bass player actually has got some stuff already done of his own, and I've got some stuff in the works as well. But collectively as a band, we'll probably end up doing another CD. Just for the sake of, because we're out there so much, people have been asking us for it.
What major group or a solo artist would inspire you?
I would have to say, well, Alan Jackson's been been one for me, but Clint Black has always been one of my favorite singers because he's such a unique voice. But I don't know, really. I mean, I love singing pretty much anything. So Tim McGraw's got some great songs.
Appaloosa will wrap up the big gig here this week on Saturday night. They have a gig every single night. And after that, they're going to be doing a lot this summer. They're going to be doing some festivals, some clubs, and even a few barn dances. I haven't been to one of those in a while. Now, staying with music tonight, another great Canadian talent, May Moore, is in town. She's at the Uptown, actually. And, well, if you don't know know who May Moore is, you might remember her in such movies as Top Gun, not acting, but her music was in them, Party of Five and Baywatch as well. Now, earlier today, Sue Lingo caught up with May to talk about her latest CD.
How's the latest CD going over?
It's going over really well. I'm getting lots of feedback. People that have accessed it through my website from other countries outside of Canada are giving really good response. I think people that like Jan Arden's music are maybe curious about this record.
Yep, she's referring to this Jan Arden, who recently played a big part in revitalizing May's career.
Jan was just getting the label Big Hip off the ground at a time when I was looking for a way to make a new record, having been released from my previous major deal. It was fun making the record. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really good time. She's really funny.
Free to Love Me is the biggest hit from that project so far, and it's a song very dear to May.
It was written for a friend of mine who found out she had a really crippling disease, and at the same time she was, her husband left her, and she was is a very musical person, and found a way through this crisis in her life through getting back into music. It's an encouraging song for her.
So what do circus folk have to do with the song?
When you meet somebody for the first time, you only get one, maybe, perspective of what that person is like, but really people are much more complicated than that, and you know, we all have elements of these different characters within us.
Very cool. Did they teach you any circus tricks?
I wanted to walk on the stilts, but no, all I got to do was drive the car.
So if you missed May's concert at the Uptown tonight, not to worry. You can always check out her latest CD titled May Moore, and you can watch for her retrospective greatest hits CD, which is due out in August. Sue Lingo, A-Channel News Now.
All right, thanks, Sue Ling. Now let's switch gears here for a little bit and head to the world of wrestling. Now, some sad news at that as well. Not very good. One of Calgary's pride and joys could be finished. Bret the Hitman Hart is currently undergoing tests in Montreal by concussion specialists. Hart suffered the injury and put his career in jeopardy by getting kicked in the head during a match 6 months ago. Since then, he's wrestled only a few times, but he hasn't been able to lift any weights and has experienced nausea. A spokesperson says that even if all the tests come up clear, the earliest Hart could wrestle again is this December. All right, hopefully some good news can come out of that. We hope for Bret the Hitman Hart. It was definitely good news over at the Joyce Doolittle Theaters over at the Pump House Theaters tonight. The Calgary Aboriginal Arts Awareness Society is holding a celebration of theater, music, and film in a 4-day festival. And tonight, the feature was an auditorial Aboriginal experience featuring local heroes. In other words, music. Here's a look.
Actually, it's called Variety 2000, and it's featuring local entertainers. Some are known in Nashville, Roshin Goose, Eldon Weaselchild, and local lounge lizards, Sandra Suter, and the MC is Derek Starlight, and we just might be able to convince Dean Auger to perform too.
For the next couple of days, what we're doing is actually, this is the dark night for the play. We have a production called Laughing for Those Who Can't that was written by 5 Aboriginal women in collaboration. And I was pulled in as the stage manager, and we tied in other Native people as stagehand, as dresser, lighting technician, sound technician, to make it an Aboriginal production.
Our society started 12 years ago to raise awareness about Aboriginal people, and we did our job so well, everybody in the city started having Aboriginal Awareness Week, and actually we started it in Canada.
The star of Murphy Brown is marrying again. Candice Bergen is going to marry real estate developer Marshall Rose this month, but she isn't saying when. The two have been a couple for 2 years now. Bergen's first husband, legendary filmmaker Louis Malle, died of cancer in 1995. Say goodbye to the artist formerly known as Prince. The artist has reclaimed his name. Prince performed to an invitation-only crowd last night in Minneapolis, pumping out 3.5 hours of pure funk and soul. The show was entitled Prince, A Celebration, and it lived up to its name. Some audience members were invited to get on stage, and at one point, more than 30 people joined in the jam session. Wow, sounds like a lot of fun. That's it for Wired tonight. We are live from the ranch, but still some time for you to get out here. There's still a little bit of room for some two-stepping on the dance floor and to come down here and check out Appaloosa. Now, that's it for me. Let's head back to the newsroom and to Tom Negavan.
Yeah, I guess he's not coming back. Thanks, Brad. Time for a break here on News Tonight, but stay with us. Some gray skies out there. Meteorologist Darwin Bull's under him, live on 7th Avenue with a wake-up weather. We've got your lotto numbers, too, when we're back in just a moment.
And good luck to you with your numbers. Welcome back to 8 Channel News at Night. Time for a look at the wake-up weather picture. Here's meteorologist Dar McBull. Now, Dar, should we grab our umbrellas again tomorrow?
Yes, I would say so, Vivian. The reason for this one is not only precipitation, but also cooler temperatures. You might also want to carry a jacket tomorrow. And what we have is cooler air mass coming to us from central and northern parts of BC and originating from off the cooler waters of the North Pacific and also the Gulf of Alaska. BC has been pretty miserable for the last few days, and they will get miserable again during the next few days. So as far as we are concerned, it is going to stay fairly unsettled for us tonight and tomorrow. So expect to see scatter showers tonight, scatter showers during the day tomorrow as well. More importantly, cool temperatures will be waking up to about 5 degrees and then only climbing up to about 13 degrees if we get lucky. We also will have winds coming out of the northwest, and they will be gusty, about 30 to 40 by morning time. And during the day tomorrow, gusting upwards of 50 kilometers an hour coming out of the northwest. It's a bit of a miserable day, but, well, we'll bite the bullet. That is it for 8 Channel Weather from 7th Avenue. Now back inside to you, Tom and Vivian.
Thank you, Darren. That's it for the Wednesday edition of 8 Channel News at Night. Thanks so much for watching.
And make sure you get your first news of the day tomorrow morning with News at Breakfast. That's at 6:30. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Good night.